Lloyd Vehicle Consulting, not sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. Good afternoon. Today is the 19th of March and yet again we are at the 2022 Practical Classics Classic Car Restoration Show at the NEC in Birmingham. This is part 7 of a Slightly Shambolic Shuffle. Yes, we've done 6 parts already, 5 yesterday and 1 today, and we shall continue to cover this frankly pretty enormous show. So we are in Hall 5, in the corner where there are some very interesting British cars. Start off with these Ryley to Ryley Motor Club. This looks a bit like a Ryley Kestrel. I don't know if it actually is. It's very nice. Sort of 30s. Very, very nice. Ryley Elf here. Going a bit of work. Just look at this, had a respray there. That's pretty nice. It's quite busy today because it's Saturday. The photo of the later door handles, and look at that wood on the interior of these. And little boot bottles sticking out because they were different from the Minis. It's the back of that Victor Kestrel. Another Ryley 1.5. We saw one actually in the previous part. It's just over there, that black car in the background there. This is a 59. So, relatively early one. Very similar to a Morris Minor, but, you know, elongated at the front and back, and with a more luxurious interior and a different engine. A lot more power. B-series engine in these. I do very much like the Ryley 1300s. I never can remember with these, or 1100s, 1300s. I can't remember if this one's a 1300 or 1100. I think it's an 1100. It's a Mark 1, 67 plate. These finished production in 69 because Ryley completely disappeared that year. It's a real shame because I think of all the brands that made these ADO 16 shape car, which is what the 1100 and 1300s are known as, I think the Ryley's my favourite, probably because it's the only one that has a rev counter, I think. It's really nice, got a combination of sportiness and luxury, which is sort of not quite there with everything else. The MG was the sportiest one, the Van den Pla was the luxury one, and that was a sort of combination of the two. Another mark very closely related to Ryley is Wolseley. We saw a Ryley Elf in there. This is a Wolseley Hornet. This is, I believe, 67, 68. Relatively late one. I think they stopped production of these in about 69. It's got the later door handles on it already. So we did Mark 3. Let's have a look at the interior whilst we're here. Yes, wood trim. Very nice. Yes, it's 68. This is a really old Wolseley. It's 1913 Wolseley 2430. Also undergoing a bit of work. That's the thing about this show, it differentiates from anything else. You see cars actually being worked on live. Massive car, isn't it? It's like the size of a tractor or something. Wow. Where do you find spark plugs for a car from 1913? So the equivalent of the, let's change hands a second, equivalent of the Ryley 1.5 was the Wolseley 1500. This is quite a late one. This is a 64. There's the 1.5 B series engine in there. Let's actually move my hand slightly so you don't see my fingers. These are called the Slightly Shambolic Shuffles for a reason. So it's a Mark 3. A bit faster than a Morris Minor. And yeah, very, very nice looking at the back. This is another one of their restoration projects. This is a 32 Wolseley Hornet. Drum brakes all round. The leather actually looks just a lot brighter on camera for some reason. Ooh, more Ryleys for Ryley RM Club. Excellent. Might see some beige leather interiors. I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers. It's a highlight of my day. Not in this one though, it's sort of red interior. I never remember with these which ones are which. I get very, very confused. It says it's an RM, I don't know what year that is. No idea. It's very nice. Again, another lovely Ryley RM. This time it's a saloon. Long production life, 1945 to 57. There we go, a useful size boot. And shiny radiators and things. Let's see about this one here. It's amazing that as late as 57 cars like this were being made in this country. It was sort of very evidently an evolution of pre-war design. The colour really stands out. Let's have a look at some Bond bugs whilst we're here. I forget the registration number of the Bond bug that was on Wheeler Dealer some years ago. Forget about that. It might be this one actually, I can't remember. 172 plate. They weren't made very long. There were various models. I think the 700 ES was the one to have. This is the 700 ES. Slightly later one, this one on an L. Well, this is the one from Car SOS. Excellent. Canopy lifts up entirely like that, and there's a little graphic up there to tell you how to open it up. Make sure you clear your head before you do that, obviously. There we go, got a signature on here. Very nice. And of course, this is what's in the thumbnail of the video. This is Foxanne, Mr. Seabrook's 1984 Reliant Fox with the Volvo 340 seats, I think, are in here. Used to be green, but obviously hand painted blue a few years ago. First time I saw this car in person was actually at the Bromley pageant in 2019. The paint job's actually held up remarkably well. It looks a bit brighter on camera than it is in real life. But, you know, it's turned out to be not the worst decision ever to do that, actually. Very good. Obviously, we've seen on previous parts Mr. Seabrook's Ford Fairmont AU, which is up in Hall 4 with Mr. Richardson from Furious driving Ford Crown Victoria. Is this a Reliant Supervan 3? Yes, it is. It's very similar to the one that was used in all those Mr. Bean episodes in the 1990s. This is I think it's about the same year as well. It's a J, so 70, 71, 71. Some nice new seats in it as well. Wow. It's got to be careful you don't tip over when you're around a corner. Obviously, I'm sure they engineered that. I'm not sure that actually was what they were always like. Same thing here again. Got another Supervan 3 on a J plate. This one needs a bit of fiberglass work at the front. Yes, excellent. Right, I think it's time to go and see some Lotuses, which are just over here. This is the Elite and Eclat and Excel, I think, area here. This is quite a late one. I think they made them 74 to 92, so quite a late one, this. 89, 90 plate. I think this will be an Excel, if I remember. Yeah, it's an Excel. But is that sort of headliner or something they're doing there? This is much, much earlier though, this one. slant there, that engine. Gets an Elite. T-plate. F6 plate. 78, 79. Let's take a look in the back here. It's an auto. Wow, I didn't realise they made an automatic one of these. Yeah, it is. I don't know what box that is. Excel Type 89B. Now that plate doesn't, I think, relate to the age of the car particularly. It's a 68, 69 plate, which is a lot newer. So I don't know what year this says. How does that work then? That's it going in the fuel filler cap. How does that work? It's very clean though, viewers. Very nice indeed. There we go. Nice Excel. Have we got more Lotuses over here? Yes, we have. Oh yes. This is an Elan. This is the same series as one of the Avengers. Might be slightly a bit earlier than that. It's on a D, same as the one in the Avengers. I think that was a Series 3. This is a Series 2. So it's registered in February '66. The car that was in the Avengers, yeah, was a little bit later than this. There was one though which was registered the year before, it was '65. Yeah, this is definitely one because Reliant are different. So that was white like this, HNK 999C. I think the one used in the fourth series of the Avengers was a white one on a C plate, which is a Series 2 like this.
That's a really old one.
And then the Series 3 was a powder blue one on a D plate. Nice early release here on an R plate. Series 1. So yeah, 97, 98 plate. I wonder if this is a BBC version or it's just standard. Mind you though, even the standard Elite is quite fast, only about 120 horsepower to 1.8k series with no BBC, but they're still really fast. So that is a nice looking car. Although getting in that for me with the hood on would be quite difficult, so I won't try it. Got some more stuff over here. Ooh. Sunbeam Lotus Owners Club. I better not call it Lotus Sunbeam, viewers. I did that yesterday. I might not have got away with it very well. So we shall have to call it by its proper name. This is a later one. It's got the flash headlamps. It came in, I think, round late 80, I think it was, on these. I do really want to have a go in any Sunbeam. Prize are told that or the Lotus version, I want to have a go at one. So it needs a bit of restoration there. Dogleg gearbox. I have to be careful of that if I drove one. Ooh, a Chariot Javelin. Wonderful. This one's supposed to be modified a bit. Didn't go well for Chariot, unfortunately. They sort of had a few problems and went under. I think it was 53 they went under, unfortunately. Here is the Jupiter, I think, which was similar to the Javelin. This is a 52. Those rear lights look like they're off something like a 60s Jaguar or something like that. Wow, it's an award-winning car. All that wood. I think that dash is out of a later car though. I wonder what that's actually out of. Answers in the comment section below because I haven't got a clue. It's even got an indicator stalk out of an Allegro. Wonderful. This is a really old Jav PO. As far as I remember, it's the the area code for Portsmouth, actually. It's near where I'm from. But this must be over 100 years old, I think. 1938 Jowett 10 saloon. I think we've seen a Jowett Bradford before, actually. Which part was it? Probably part 2. And this is a bit smaller, but it reminds me a bit of a Jowett Bradford. Right, we shall go this way. Someone's welding in there. Ooh, Armstrongs Sidley Owners Club. Excellent. Big, luxurious cars made in Coventry. Unfortunately, they went under in 1960, which was a real shame. This is a post-war one. This particular car is a Typhoon. Yeah, all the names: Typhoon, Lancaster, Hurricane, Whitley, Landette, Euston Station Coupe. Quite a complex model range. And yes, look at all this wood. Excellent. This will be a Star Sapphire. This is the last model they actually made. There's an information sheet in here, that might be useful. Yes. It's a 59, a gentleman's carriage from 1959. It certainly is, with red leather interior and wood. Do like some wood on the interior. This is what one looks like when it's all been stripped down for paint, I imagine, as well. Another one here. Two-tone, very typical sort of, say, late 40s, early 50s colour scheme. Oh, it's a green leather interior this time, with wood. I quite like green leather interiors, viewers. It doesn't get me quite as excited as a beige one, but, you know, not bad. 1953 346 Sapphire. And there we go. Very nice. Pre-war one. 36. Armstrongs 2025 Landette. Looks like it's going to have a bit of work on the roof at some point. Yes. Got some more British classics over here. What is that? Is that a Jensen Healey? Oh, it is, viewers. And some Interceptors too. Oh, sorry, this is the GT. This is the coupe version of the Jensen Healey. One of the cars that just had just one difficulty in getting into production after the other. The engine choice changed multiple times. Lotus engine. I think bits from Vauxhalls and other cars in this. Amazing it really actually happened in a way. Unfortunately, 76 it was all over. Now this is a Jensen Healey view of this one, with some new panels on the side of it. What's this? It's a Mark II, so this is it's an AMP plate, so 73, 74. Not knock things over. This Interceptor's having a bit of work, so here is that. It's on an H, so it's a Mark II 6970 plate. It's not quite the same as the one used by Robert Vaughan and the Protectors, but it's not too far off that age. Red on red. Very practical boot as well. Look at what stuff you can fit in for the boot of your Interceptor. Some Morgans. I get very confused with Morgan's views. Fortunately, most of them have little badges on the front which tell you what model they are. And this is a 60 plate, and it's a 4.4 Sport with a 1.6 Ford Sigma engine. It's similar to the one used in the Fiesta and the Focus and things like that. Really quite fast as one of those. 66. This one. It's a +4. So I'm having some work on the distributor or something. One here. So +4 as well. AOK, so that's the Birmingham plate. Built 1959. TR3 engine. I think that's a 2-litre Triumph engine in that. They haven't really changed, have they? You line these three up together and it's not really changed very much, but that's the appeal of having them. This one's another +4. There must have some kind of anniversary of +4 going on at the moment. This is 2009. And it's a 2-litre Ford Duratec engine in this one. And you can spot the filler cap. Again, pretty quick actually, this, even with that relatively modest engine in it. This one is another +4. And we can see the actual frame, the ash frame. Wow, there we go. We'll just see a Morgan ash frame, there you go. Fantastic, and there's the chassis below it. Midget and Spitfire Club. I have driven a Midget on the channel last year. It was a Mark III from 1968, owned by Lyndon, who is the other half of Alex from the Alex Assets channel. This is a Frog Ice Sprite. These were made from 58 to 61. Not sure exactly what they're doing on this. Let's see what year this is. Doesn't actually. What's she say? Oh, well. This one's all ready to go racing. Yes, I did actually manage to get in one of these myself. It was a bit tight, but I managed it. That one's, I think, also a Mark III Midget, although I'm not actually sure. Another Frog Ice Sprite here. Yep, you don't get any door handles. Didn't think that you needed any. Donald Healey was not a man who believed in lots and lots of luxury in his cars, I don't think necessarily. Another Midget here. What is this? Well, 67, this one. It's an all-metal dash in this. That's beautiful. That the standard of this restoration. That's amazing. That's really, really nice. Wow. Pretty good, really. Ooh, some Morris Minors. Coventry and Warwickshire. Morris Minor Owners Club. See, there are a lot of Morris Minors out there. This is a very early one. This is an Tourer. I mean, these are worth an absolute fortune now. I can't remember if that's actually a leather interior or not. I'm not sure. It's a Traveller with some mini lights on it. This is a 1966 on a D. So much later. Unlike a lot of people, they've put a different pair of front seats in it. That's quite a common thing actually, because the standard ones that came with the Minor weren't particularly comfortable. So I do understand that. A lot of work going on here then. It's 2 doors, well, it's a single piece windscreen, so that's post 56 I think. This one, the wipers are going the correct way around, so this will be a later car as well. Again, beautiful condition, and they put different front seats so they are a bit more comfortable. Very late one, 6970. It's a 1098cc one. That. So not this one. Oh, it's got wipers and meter in the middle, so be between 56 and 62, I believe. So it's the same sort of one my mother used to have. Hers was one of those Minor 1000. Another Minor 1000 here. It's quite a late one on a J registration, so 7071. I think 71 was for last year for the saloon like this. They're still making an awful lot of them actually. Even by then, that's definitely been restored, hasn't it? It's absolutely gleaming inside and out. Ooh, Volvos. Do like a nice old Volvo, yes. So, K registration Volvo 145 estate. Similar in many ways to the later 240. So 71, 72 plate that'll be. Green. Still got ridiculous load capacity. Those handles are from a later 145 actually. One's used to be 240 all the way through to 1993. It's huge. Volvo Amberson, which is having some work inside it, we'll see. What year is this one then? So it's a 221. Not actually sure what year about it. Oh, we can see here. It's a 67. There we go. Well, it's a very late Amberson on a G. It's a Volvo 131. So yeah, 68, 69 plates. Volvo had this habit of keeping cars in production for a long, long time after their successors have been introduced. In this case, the Amberson had been replaced in 1966 by the 144 and 145. So yeah, just the way that they did things. Crack in here to take a look at the interior. Just very, yes. And we've got a little friend in front. Hello. Must be tired holding that plaque up during the entire duration of the show. Very nice. And yes. Later than the cars that were used in the Saint. This is actually very, very late. Standard P800, or 1800 by now, 800E, because the ES came out quite soon after this. So yeah, 1970, fuel injected. Lovely old dashboard and some more friends in there as well. Another friend there. It's a friendly car. Right, let's go over to see some more Volvos. I've just spotted something, viewers. Yes, I am a huge fan of the old ITC series from the 60s, and one of them, of course, is the Saint. I wonder if any of these are actually one of the original cars. Yes, 71 Dxc. I've seen this car before. This was the first one supplied to Volvo, by Volvo in '62 to ITC and the producer Monty Berman and Bob Baker. So this one, yeah, is the original car. Would have seen through the first sort of, I think it was 2 or 3 series they used this one, and they actually used another one that cut up for the interior shots. There's more friends in there as well, and then Roger Moore had one of these. I can't remember if he had more than one, but certainly I can't remember if this is Roger Moore's car, if this was the car he drove in the series, because there were 2 of them. But here we go, there he is, the man himself, Sir Roger. And there we go, with all these signatures on here. Peggy Cummings, who suddenly passed away. John Huff, who was one of the directors on the Saint and one of the other series at the time. Diana Rigg. Roger Morris. There's loads in here. I can't read. Yeah, Johnny Goodman. He was, I think on the Saint he was a little bit lower down in the pecking order, but he later became a producer. Madeline Smith, yeah, she was the lady who was Live and Let Die, who's Miss Caruso. Wow. Yeah. This car turns up at sort of ITC fan events, which is why I thought I'd see it. Let's have a look at the interior and see how different it is from the later ones. Yeah, very different instrumentation. Yeah, this is the second batch of them, 77 GYL. So quite different actually on the front, not the caravan bumpers. The original cars were made by Jensen in West Bromwich, but by 1963 they sort of reckoned that the quality of the assembly at West Bromwich was good enough, so Volvo brought production back in-house to Sweden. That's why it's called an 1800S. Let's have a look at that. Wow, that's a nice condition interior. Wow. Not a lot of room in the back, very, very small in the back, but of course, if you wanted room, then you could just buy an Amberson, couldn't you? Yeah, so it's a 65 car, but that's the registration from, I don't know, I get confused a little bit. Oh, here we go. Number 2, representing. So this is not the same, this is the actual original one. Let's just see, this is similar to the ones used in the final series. It's called Series 6, the final one. And with the different wheels on it. Yeah, it's not quite the same. Now this one is very similar to, it's funny, the shades of white are very slightly different on all these 3 cars. Yeah, this is the right year, it's 67 on an E. But there were 2 cars used in the final series. One was Roger Moore's personal car, and one was the car that he drove actually with Simon Templar. I very much enjoy coming to shows like that and getting sort of a little bit enthusiastic, shall we say, about the old ITC series and things like that, because I'm a big fan of those. We see some rear ends as well that are all a little bit different. Anyway, again, as I said earlier, Volvo were manufacturing the Amberson by 1956, and this is the predecessor model still in production in 57. I think it went through to 65. This is a PV444. Later was a PV544. Left-hand drive. It smells really nice in here. It smells absolutely lovely. Ah, yes, here we go. 240 estate. My mother had one of these. It was a slightly later one. This is on an E, so it's an 88. My mother's was a late 89, which is a 90 model year, and they had a slightly different front end on those. This is a DL, but by the time my mother's car was built in 89, the DL had been discontinued, so this is absolute utter base spec with 4-speed gearbox. There's another friend in there. He's looking like he's going to enjoy his drive home as well. What's this? Wow, it's a very, very friendly vehicle. This is probably in the back of a Volvo. Where's the one put in there? Where's the original? They're not original dealer plates. Possibly there might be the dealership, but the car was sold a bit later. But Cuffley is sort of near St Albans. That's St Albans area code and Hertfordshire plate, so it still makes sense that. Ooh. Very, very late Volvo 740 GL. This is a facelift one, 1990, 91. Again, the 940 was used in 1990, but the 740 remained in production until late 91. Yes, this is 1990. So this would be a little bit cheaper than the 940s. So yeah, the face of the front end, it looks a bit like a 940. It's so confusing with all these overlapping things. But yes, someone's really gone to town on sort of personalising this with all sorts of chrome bits on it and things. And here we have a V70 next to this enormous truck. Blue 20 police car, T5. These were all over the motorways in the 2000s and 2010s. All over the place. Very, very practical for chasing criminals and also for getting all this stuff in. So yes, 2002. Little mirror there, so perhaps a park or something, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, look at all this stuff that you can get in there. Anyway, we have come to the end of our time for the Slightly Shambolic Shuffle Part 7 at the 2022 Practical Classics Classic Car Restoration Show. So we shall have to end it here and then go on to Part 8. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like this video, leave a comment below. There's also a join button there if you wish to support the channel on a monthly basis, but please don't feel you have to do so. Thank you.